Hi, Elle Ingalls here at ElleIngalls.com, the creator of the Pressure-Free Method. I have my son, Hugh Ingalls, with us.
Hello, everyone.
We're going to talk about the Pressure-Free checklist. So I've been working on a checklist. You inspired me to create a checklist, and it's a part of what I'm doing for 2020. And I thought we would share just a little bit about how working on a checklist, how this can make a really big difference in 2020 for you. So Hugh, do you want to share a little bit about, how we work together? He's now my business development manager. I pay my son to help me with strategic planning. Even though I have an MBA in corporate strategy, this guy knows what he's doing. And so, just dive in a little and talk about checklist and how it helps.
So it started about 3 years ago, trying to really figure out what I needed to do in a day. When you run your own business, or even in your personal life too, it's like, where do you begin? What is a priority in your life? What is a priority in your business? And with so many different things to do and endless amounts of, information out there as far as, where to focus your efforts, it really is imperative that you do a lot of self-reflection in order to basically get to a point where you've created a checklist with just enough items on it that you can, maybe you don't get it all done in a day, but it's just enough that if you really focused, you can get it all done. So over the last few years, my checklists now are broken up into Ingalls pictures. So the main kind of 9 to 5 business, there's over 200 checklist items.
200 checklist items.
Absolutely. I wear multiple hats, so I'm in charge of marketing and sales. Okay, so there's a whole checklist for that. There's the business owner hat, which involves accounting, which involves, checking the bank account, what's going in, what's going out, managing all the money, looking at, all the accounts receivable, accounts payable. There's the kind of CEO hat where I'm managing the meeting rhythm, as the kind of CEO, COO. So there's a multitude of checklists there with our daily huddle. Okay, so we have a daily huddle where our team gets together on a Google Drive doc, and they basically are held accountable for what they're doing over the next 24 hours.
And that's your whole team, right? I think this is important. Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Team.
So that's all. And now with William home, it's all 6 of us are in the daily huddle now, keeping each other accountable. So, and then you have the weekly L10. That's when the team all gets together. You talk a lot about your issues. You talk a lot about how you're going to improve customer service, the product, and then you get into bi-weekly leadership meetings where you're getting together with your leadership team. My brother Ned and I, we get together and we basically just get on the same page. We make an issues list, talk through the issues. We're on the same page. We're moving forward. Monthly financial meetings, so we're really diving deep in our finances, looking at cash flow. What did we do this last month? What did we do the last year, this same month? And then you're creating benchmarks, KPIs around finances that are really going to drive, driving basically all your decision making. Mm-hmm. And then we get into quarterly meetings with team members. So we're doing one-on-ones every quarter. Okay, so I'm sitting down with Denard and Mike and Ned and William and Pete, and we're sitting down and we're going through a lot of, we have an issues list, but we're going through a lot of, reviewing our core values, and we're doing a people analyzer. So we're having each individual analyze the other, and we bring that together in a weekly L10. So this is all, part of the checklist, but it's looking at, when you have multiple hats, you find yourself, regardless of who you work for, who you work with, you're wearing multiple hats today in today's world. And so putting together checklists, within categories, I think is absolutely imperative because, putting together, from a productivity standpoint, I think when you can chunk things together that are interrelated, you can really, figure out what that lead domino is to get the rest of the checklist done. But when you have different categories and the list is kind of varied, then that lead domino is going to be stopped by that next domino because it's in a totally different area. So you're going to go from here to here as opposed to the lead domino going like this. So I think it's very important when you're creating your checklist that things work well together chronologically and how your mind works. So it takes years, absolutely years of refining. I'm a little crazy. I've been doing this for years, 3-4 years now.
3 or 4 years,
but now, it's Ingalls pictures, 300 plus items. Maybe not 300, but maybe like 100 or so. And then Extracurriculars, so pressure-free living, us working together, a couple boards I serve on. I have a master checklist there. And you've even gotten that down to, mastering the number of clicks too. So
right. This is really cool. Okay. So you've got a checklist, and these are the things that you're going to do in your day. And now share about this idea of the one-click deal, because I love it. I'm starting to use it myself.
So first, I use Evernote. Some people viewing may be familiar with Evernote. It's a great way, kind of an alternative to your Apple Notes. It's kind of more intuitive, has more features. It's relatively low cost. I paid for it for the year, but regardless, it's also where I place my business card. So I can take a picture of a business card when I receive it, and it prompts all the information so you can click on it and email them directly from Evernote. Really narrowing down the number of clicks, because we can be clicking all day.
We can be clicking all day.
So what I did was I have Evernote automatically pop up when I log in. So I click my computer, I turn it on. I have my Chrome. I use Chrome because Chrome works well with Google Drive. So Chrome, Spotify, QuickBooks, and Evernote all pop up on login. So I don't have to click them out, find them on the thing at the bottom. So they're automatically up. And then within Evernote, within these checklists, any Google Drive document, I have the link right in there. So it's literally, I click on Evernote, I click on the list, and I click on the Google Drive doc, and it's 3 clicks. And before, that was refined when I had, like 8 different checklists, and I was filing through them and trying to figure out where one was, and there wasn't a link, so I had to go back to Chrome and dial up Google Drive, and then click on Docs, and then click on this. So just refine that to just boom, 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 I'm in, and I'm already productive within seconds, as opposed to 30 seconds to a minute of just trying to navigate. So the navigation is very important, especially if you're digitizing your checklist. Obviously you're not running into that if you have a pen and paper, and maybe see what it looks like. There's obviously different ways you can rack your checklist.
So I'm really old fashioned. I have a written checklist, and I'm taking baby steps here. But you might want to take some of these baby steps. So I have created my checklist, and I did it on graph paper within my planner, my hard planner. And it's on graph paper, and I have the entire month. So I really just come on here and check off, I've done this, and this. And like Hugh said, I created it chronologically, pretty close to chronological to how it will stream in my day. And then with the huddle, some of the things I'm putting together with him, I'm creating those clickable links. So again, it's just like one link, and then you're into the document that you need. So this has been incredibly helpful to me. And again, he's just taken it to an art form. I remember when I first taught you how to use a planner.
Oh, yeah.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then he's just taken it to a whole new level. So I think it's fantastic. If you want to learn more, just send a private message to us, and we can share.
And I would say one more thing, similar when your analogy, I heard the other day that I always like to use is if, compared to trying to floss your teeth, you're just going to start with flossing one tooth at night. So just start with one item on a checklist and do it tomorrow. Just start there. Don't go past one. Just start with one check mark.
So what are some of the first checklist things that you put down?
First things on my checklist now. So I have a personal checklist. It's kind of what a perfect day would look like. And it's very personal things. So it's not, I have like I said, the Ingalls pictures are business related checklist that I do when I get to the office. And then I have a extracurriculars one they'll do kind of after 5:00. Okay. All the stuff like, hobbies and things like that.
Hockey, all that.
Hockey, yup. So the personal one though is especially my morning routine and evening routine and some things in between. But first, wake up in the morning, smiling, text you.
He texts me.
Yeah, that is actually the first thing is just wake up. Hopefully I wake up. That's of course maybe that's the first item on anyone's checklist. Just put wake up and a little check mark next to it.
But I love how you said wake up smiling, because I have another friend who wakes up and says happy to be alive. That's the first thing she thinks and says out loud, happy to be alive. So we wake up.
Yeah.
And then he texts me that he loves me. It's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
It's a beautiful thing.
So start with the one item. Texting, and then I go into some deep breathing, meditative, exercises. I'll walk, do some 5 push-ups, do a little boasting yoga, just get moving in the morning, and then I'll practice. I do a little brain training game called Elevate, and then there's Duolingo. I'm trying to learn Spanish as a second language. It's one of the challenges a group I'm in for the new year is learn a skill, and so the second language is it.
Nice.
So doing Duolingo, so that helps just wake up the mind. The best thing as far, that's not on the checklist in the morning, especially, and this is on purpose on the not to-do list. I'm kind of going into deep in it, but one of the most important things that we forget to do is also the not to-do list.
The not to-do list,
and that's actually what I have at the very, very top. And that includes some things like negative self-taught, scrolling through social media, some other personal things that I just want to get out of my life. And so that's usually at the top of the list, is the not to-do list.
And that,
just as important.
That brings up a really good point, that we actually keep each other accountable on some of these things, some of these not to do things. And I really, really appreciate that. And I have 2 accountability partners besides him that help me with a lot of that too. So getting somebody who's on your page and wants to help you is really, really powerful. And hiring my son has been a really great idea. So
it's been fun.
Yeah, it's been fun. So I hope you got something out of this. Start your little checklist. And as Hugh said, just start with one thing. Like if you were to do one thing every day in 2020, or for the next 30 days, what one thing could you do every morning that would change your life?
Yep.
So thanks so much for coming on my show, and I'm wishing everybody a beautiful, pressure-free night. If you have any questions, just go ahead and private message us. Thanks. Bye.